Maybe we could possibly try and talk a little quieter. Maybe not project as much. I don't know, because I think the neighbors heard us last time.
Oh, really?
Oh, did they complain?
No, they didn't complain. They were just like, yeah.
Oh, your podcast was great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
really? Oh.
Yeah. So we talk a little bit more normal, I guess, because I know we usually speak up a little bit more when we're doing this, but
Yeah.
if we can, I don't know. Let's just go. They can deal with it. It only lasts an hour.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Roll the intro.
Oh, we're doing it right now. All right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 8 of Bitcade. Episode 8. Man, can you believe it?
I think
That's
it.
8 months.
Inside?
8 months, yeah.
Yeah.
8.
Well, I know Quinn was doing this.
Well,
thing,
yeah, I was doing
Yeah.
And so
Snowman.
I'll make my girlfriend pound and do the ASL version.
Yeah,
8,
it's
which
8.
I think
This
is
is 8.
this.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
Nicole would know. So.
Yeah.
Yes. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
Yes.
Oh,
11,
that makes
12,
so
13,
much sense.
14, 15.
Oh, I do that all the time now with people. I've
16,
noticed at
17,
work I start
18,
doing that.
19.
How many? I'll say out loud, but with my hands I'll go like, oh yeah, no, 22.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 8 of Bitcade. That's right. This is the official video game podcast of Primal Target.
PT Nation.
Exactly. Exactly. We have got quite a few topics to talk about. 3 of them, to be exact.
About how we do. Right?
We are going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. We're going to talk about games that we like, but no one else does. And also, we're going to talk about next gen. Anyway, today we are going to be the first topic.
I'm David, by the way.
It doesn't matter what your name is. They already
Okay,
know by
fine.
now.
I'm just we didn't do it like we didn't.
Oh,
do
I
it
know.
this
I
time.
know.
So
We're
I'm
rolling
just-
right into
I'm
it
just
because we
clarifying.
have a whole bunch of things we got to
Alright,
talk
we're
about, and
going.
we got a short one. We got to make it short. Ladies and gentlemen, that is David.
Yeah, I just said that.
This is Quinn,
I just said that too.
Yeah.
and I am Ryan, and we are Primal Target's Bitcade panel, and yeah.
The cat's playing with the cat toy right now. If you can hear that.
he has a little square box, and there's holes poked in it.
Yeah, and the box
and there's
is
a
hollow.
ball.
Yeah, the box is hollow, so he has balls in it that he bats around.
So anyway, the first topic we're going to talk about is something that happened. There was a rumor. I think IGN broke it, but it was about a guy put on his resume that he's a voice actor, an actor. Put on his resume that there is he is a voice actor for Grand Theft Auto 6.
I don't think he was a voice actor. I think he was a motion capture.
Motion capture. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Now that you say that, yes. Come to find out, not entirely true.
No, the whole thing was false.
Everyone lies on their resume. This is
Well,
just an
apparently
example of
he was
that.
trolled. He was
Oh,
trolled.
he did this.
No.
His friend did this or
no,
something
it's
like
just
that.
somebody some
Hacked
random
him or
person.
something?
No, some random person just posted it and it wasn't him.
Oh, okay. So
weren't
someone took
trying
his
to be
resume and put that as the. Oh, okay. All right.
Something.
That makes sense.
But-
Not really. But this brings up the question: are we ready for another Grand Theft Auto? Like GTA 5, and I believe Rockstar has stated the only way that this game will be like no one will play this game anymore is if Rockstar kills it. That's the only way.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how they had to get. Well, let's be honest. Well, let's talk about 4. How did they go from 4 to 5?
See, what they had with
Right.
4 was they tested online play because
Right.
it existed.
They also
But it
tested
wasn't-
the 3 protagonists thing with the DLC too.
Yes, so they didn't put it all in one thing, and
Right.
they didn't connect them all together.
Right.
You see them here and there, but they have no
Right, they're
connections.
not, yeah.
But the with GTA 4, they show you the GTA Online, what it could be.
Yeah.
You do the Havoc,
But,
wreak Havoc and stuff like that, and then in GTA 5, you actually get the online.
I think one of the big things is that because 4 didn't just when they transitioned from 4 to 5, I think it was easier for them because they didn't have this huge player base of people constantly playing it. Whereas I think whereas now there's just how many thousands of people are like always playing it.
Yeah,
online right now.
how many times people
Because-
have bought it?
Yeah, and the thing is like, because 4, let's be honest, is primarily a single story.
Oh, yeah, that's
it's
all
a single.
really.
It's just a single player game
Mhm.
with online capabilities. Whereas in my opinion, 5 is more of has kind of turned into a multiplayer game with a single player if you choose to do it.
But it's like, well, GTA actually kind of forces you into doing the online the story, because you have to I think you have to play as Franklin all the way up to where you get to Michael, and then you can start doing online. Like you have
I
to
have
get
no
to a
idea.
certain point in the game where you can play online.
I don't know. I already had the game at 100% before
Uh-oh.
online launched. So
Yeah.
I would remember being on that day when it was supposed to launch, and like just nobody could get on, and you would load into the car race and then load out, and then
Yeah.
I was there.
What do you think, Quinn?
Fun.
What do you
Was
think?
GTA 4 on 360? Was that
Yes.
last
Yes.
generation?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
well, then that would be how they would do it. Just wait for the next generation.
You can't segue into a topic we're going to talk about in the third.
Well, that's my opinion, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
If they can't, like you said, kill it off, then just, well, how do you kill a player base? By making a new
Yeah,
console.
everyone. Hey, if you want to play this game, you got to play it over. Well, I mean, Warcraft, Blizzard is notorious for like, you want to play this thing, you got to buy the new thing. And it's like, if you can't, then well, that's sorry. We're not gonna bring you into it.
And people buy it anyway.
Yeah, people
though,
buy it
so-
anyway. But though it is from Blizzard, and that's the thing is Rockstar and Blizzard
They're one
not
of those,
too far off of
Well,
where they can just
they're-
put something
yeah, I
out
was gonna
there.
say, they're one of those companies that like if people will just buy it because it's Rockstar.
Yeah.
And Blizzard, like, or I think like Rockstar, Blizzard, Valve, if they make any when they release a game, people are just gonna buy those just because that's who made them. Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
It's the company behind it has a huge weight on the sales.
that's kind of
Versus
crazy,
the product.
and we could probably talk about it as like its own topic,
Right.
but briefly of like how crazy that now, like if you have this name attached to it,
Mm-hmm.
you immediately go, okay. Well, it's kind of like video games have come into that like movie trend of, oh, Disney's making this movie, it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like or
Seal of
Marvel
quality.
Studio, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like with Nintendo, where going with the literal seal,
Yeah.
you had to get a seal from Nintendo to make
Mhm.
it so that it's an official game of Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes through the certification and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, because Red Dead Redemption, just right around the corner,
I think,
coming out next year.
I think Red Dead is going to pull quite a bit of the player base off because Red Dead, the first one again, came out after 4, and the multiplayer.
Well, that was the first game that Rockstar put out that was after
yeah,
GTA
I think
4.
I think it was Rockstar and was it North?
I
that
think
did?
it's I thought it was San Diego.
I think
made.
it was probably was San Diego. It's the purple, the one that uses the purple Rockstar logo. I think made.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's
don't
3
remember.
branches. There's
Yeah.
North, San
There's-
Diego, and
There's one in Canada. Is that
That's
North?
North,
That's
yeah.
North.
Yeah.
Lost my train of thought. Cause I put it in. I will tell you, I had Grand Theft Auto 4. I had Red Dead Redemption. I put in probably triple the amount of time in Red Dead Redemption, and most of it was in the online play. I used to play the crap out of the online play.
Yeah, and
in
that
Red Dead.
like with Red Dead Redemption, it's a little. It's gonna bring in some interesting factors because you
Well-
don't have cars. You
Well-
can't have bazookas.
Well, I don't think. Well, I think it's. I'm more interested in because for our topic with Grand Theft Auto 6 is I think once Red Dead Redemption 2 launches, the player base from GTA 5, of course they're gonna lose. Now they're still gonna be under Rockstar and giving Rockstar microtransaction. Money. There's gonna be microtransactions.
Well,
in
because
it.
the thing is though is I prefer Rockstar doing what they've been doing.
Right. No.
and
no.
so-
I completely like their business model. They've been doing like
The obtainable purchases kind of thing.
Right. It's like what Blizzard's doing with like Overwatch, where the DLC is free, but if you want to pay for a little extra,
And even then you can unlock stuff.
Yeah, just a little extra, then that's fine. And like I'm okay with their shark cards. Their shark cards don't really bother me. I can see how that can be looked as in the online mode as pay to win because you just buy a shark card and then you can buy mansions and cars and
But I mean, like
But-
even
but
then,
then
it
it's
doesn't
like,
really
it
like
doesn't
come
really
into
matter.
factors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you can
'Cause
still earn earn that much money
right.
by doing
and a
the
lot
events.
of the good stuff you have to unlock anyway.
Mhm.
Like you can't
You have to be a certain
yeah,
level.
you have to be at a certain level, or you have to do a certain mission, which you have to be a certain level. But I feel like once Red Dead 2 launches, and that because there's gonna be a huge chunk of their player base from GTA 5 that's gonna be like, oh, I'm done with GTA 5, gonna go play Red Dead, and I think that's where you're gonna see. I think that's gonna be that I won't say tipping point, but that reminder that GTA 5 as great as it is, like they're gonna have to do
something to put that down. You've not played GTA 5.
No, I haven't.
So standing on the outside of this situation, seeing the success that GTA has had in the fans that have grown with Grand Theft Auto, primarily through GTA 5, how do you feel about them going into a GTA 6? Do you feel like they may have even started on GTA 6, or do you feel like no, that's too far out of the question?
Well, what year did GTA 5 come out?
Came out
2012 or
came out
2013?
It's been like 5 years.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Like 5
I feel
years.
like, well, so it's a different part of Rockstar that's making
Yeah, 'cause-
Red Dead Redemption, right?
2013.
So yeah, I
September
would think,
17th.
of course, if they were gonna make a GTA 6, which they
So
probably
Rockstar
are.
North made GTA 5.
Okay.
So just so
yeah,
you know,
okay.
yeah.
Because they're based in Vancouver or Montreal. I think it's Montreal.
In Scotland. Rockstar North in Scotland.
Never mind.
But
We're
Rockstar
just-
San
we're
Diego.
just-
There's Rockstar Toronto.
Oh, that's probably what I'm thinking.
Then
of.
there's Rockstar San Diego, which is the purple one.
Yeah.
And then Rockstar Leeds. I don't never heard that. Rockstar
that's
London
in-
and
that's in
Rockstar
the
Lincoln.
UK. Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. Cool.
and San Diego's obviously not in San Diego, which is funny.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Then yeah, I think they would have already started working on it because making a video game is a time-consuming progress, and always with like making a game is you always want to figure out how to up the ante or make it better.
so what do you feel they could do as an outsider
to make GTA 5 better,
to make GTA 6 better?
or 6
Yeah.
better.
I think it's a tough question to ask somebody who hasn't
Yeah,
played it.
No, but I mean, like, if you've heard, like, obviously online's a big aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like they should just add more stuff with online? Story is already ginormous. Like, and the fact that you can play in this big sandbox is amazing with the destruction that you can bring to it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I honestly, I can't really say how you would improve something because I've never played it. That's like
Yeah.
saying to someone, how do you improve like World of Warcraft or
Yeah,
something
without
if I've
playing
never
it, yeah,
played it?
yeah,
Yeah, so I can't really say how they would like.
so how about
Improve.
this question? Why have you not gotten it?
I'm just not one of the games that like interested me at first because I've never like really played, or the first Grand Theft Auto I played was like I didn't even play that much of because I was like 4 or 5, mind you. Was like Vice City or something, or
Okay,
That's
PlayStation 2.
probably my favorite.
or yeah, it's one of the older games that was on Xbox, PS2.
Power Brick.
He didn't turn it off, did he?
I mean, he can't turn off the camera.
But
Yeah,
that was the one that I played a little bit, and then I got in trouble for it because I was a 4 or 5-year-old playing, and I was beating
Yeah,
up
that's
like
kinda my thing
hookers.
with GTA 4.
Oh yeah. Oh, you so know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't know. Well, I mean, I knew I was beating them up, but and they were like,
Yeah,
'Cause-
to you, there's no context.
Yeah, I
It's
was just like-
oh,
because I
Yeah.
was like playing Battlefront or something at the time, and then I switched over. I saw that they got a new game because my dad wasn't home, and I was like, oh well. I mean, this game looks like it could be cool, and I was looking at the map because the game came with a giant map, and I was like, "Ooh, a city!"
yeah,
to
it's all
explore."
part of the poster. Yeah, I still have, I think, my GTA 3 poster and map and my Vice City map.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of where my thing is. Do you feel like GTA is even? I mean, probably for
like,
for
on its way
North.
down?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, not that. But like, do you feel like Grand Theft Auto is even the next one after Red Dead? I feel like it's not. I feel like because they have 5 other studios that are. I mean, the other ones help out
Right.
San Diego and North.
San Diego and North are like their two big.
Bec-
like, they're big
Where
hitters.
did LA Noire come out of? That's my thing.
I believe that one was from their Australian one.
I think that might be right.
I think it's from their Australian division. I don't remember which one specifically. No, am I just wrong again?
It is from Australia, but it's from Team. What is that? Bond? Would that be
Bondi?
Bondi? Yeah.
I have no idea. No.
So
No, it's not.
they're a developer that it works with Rockstar,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're a part of the Rockstar family. But I
Yeah.
mean, Take-Two is just a ginormous company, so it's
Well,
whatever.
Take-Two is like, the mothership, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird how it went like Team Bondi, then Rockstar, and then Take-Two was the umbrella over that. But
yeah, I always forget that. Every now and then I'll forget that Rockstar is under Take-Two.
the guys who
because-
make Mafia,
Mafia and like the Borderlands games and
2K games, yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
it's just
Huh.
like
Yeah.
like you don't think of that because you always think of Rockstar just doing everything themselves.
yeah, you think
know?
Rockstar as Activision, but they're
Right,
actually
but they're not.
the Blizzard
Yeah,
of the Activision partnership.
yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah.
yeah. See, yeah, we
That's
just
really
blew your
freaking
mind.
weird.
huh?
Yeah, that's weird. To think
Like I actually don't mind waiting
I don't mind.
for GTA 6.
I don't see
with-
GTA 5 personally going anywhere anytime
Yeah.
soon.
And
Even
it-
after Red Dead.
I feel like because at this point, if they wanted to kill it, they'd have to do it now. They'd have to try and do it soon, like December-ish time. Because if Red Dead, if they're doing it for Red Dead, if they're like,
If they're
no,
doing
we
it for
want to
Red
help out
Dead,
Red
yeah,
Dead,
no, yeah.
they
Then
need to kill it like in the next
They
couple
need to stop
months.
doing DLC.
And
They
it's-
need to tell people, hey, this was our last bit of DLC.
Yeah,
blah,
and
blah, blah, blah,
every
blah.
single week they send out Rockstar propaganda, which is what their email listing is called. And
Of course it is.
and the thing about it is, it's always an update. Like right
Yeah.
now is like there's a new car out right now, so you can go get. But
Yeah, they need when they will you'll know when they've decided because they'll just stop making content for it.
yeah,
Even
but
if people are still paying them money.
I think at this point they're going to make it side by side, where it's like, okay, let's just do GTA is this game, and Red Dead is this game. And
I don't see them stopping making content for GTA 5 after Red Dead 2
I
is
do
out, but-
think they will not make that standalone. Well, not standalone, but that story-based DLC for GTA. I don't think that's ever happening.
No, I don't see that.
But I
happening
think
too.
that's
I
what
wish
they're
it
going to
would.
do with Red Dead.
Yeah.
Is they're going
Oh,
to make it because
yeah.
every time you see those trailers, they're always rolling in with a posse.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That's my theory. Is
Well-
that they're going to make Red Dead 2 or Red Dead Redemption 2 that is going to be.
I would like to see it on this. I would like to see single player DLC. Yeah, especially in Red Dead.
multiplayer
yeah.
DLC or multiplayer story DLC.
Right. I'm
is
sure
what
they'll
thinking.
also do multiplayer DLC as well. I mean,
Well, they
it's-
did have multiplayer in Red Dead, but
Well, yeah, like I said,
you were
I
saying,
said
yeah.
I used to play crap out of it. First thing I would do is I would log in, and the first thing you have to do is go get that automatic pistol from the fort outside Armadillo, because that's the best PvP weapon that there was. Because if you got jumped by anybody, you switch immediately to that gun because it was the fastest shooting,
Yeah.
most bullets.
Di-
It was like an automatic pistol, whereas everybody else has like pump action and revolver, so you just pop.
So
You're dead.
how far out do you feel GTA 6 is?
Well,
at?
we're probably another 4 or 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's that far.
Let
Well,
me look up
I-
how far GTA 4 was.
I believe it was within that time frame between 4 and 5. Because I think 4 came out in 2008. Yeah.
And then what year did we say?
13.
2013.
It came out
So
late,
5 years.
late 2013. It came out
September,
It came,
yeah.
6
yeah.
years.
And this came out April 29th. That's a weird launch day.
Well, Red Dead Redemption came out in May. Yeah. So that's weird, huh? It's just
Yeah.
it was like May 20th, 2010, I believe.
May 18th.
May 18th.
You're close. Yeah, 2010.
I
yeah.
was off by 2 days.
Got a 9.7 out of 10.
It's a really good game.
Oh yeah.
I was replaying it when they brought it on backwards compatibility on Xbox One.
And it was made by Rockstar San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, 2008. Can someone do math? 13 minus 8, 5. Okay. And right now
Almost,
it's
judging by
2017.
the dates, it was about like 5.5 years.
So 17 minus 13.
17. We're at
We're
4.
here. We're at 4.
We're at
So
4.
we should have got it next year. GTA.
But here's the thing, though.
Because there's a 3-year separation.
But the thing is, though, is that 4 though didn't have the longevity because
yeah.
of 5 because of it's
of
online.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because online came out like almost a year after the game went live.
I think so.
It was
yeah.
a long time.
Yeah, I think it was about a year, and that's when everyone really
That
went
was-
to go for it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was when the game really blew up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's when they decide GTA 5 is done is when it's gonna finally be done. When they finally announce we're done making DLC, we're done making content for this. It will probably be well after they've already announced that GTA 6 is in the works.
Yeah, and by then most people would probably not want to play GTA 5.
By then, the player base will probably have dwindled a little bit. There'll be other games people will be playing right now.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Quinn? How far do you think we're out from?
We'll probably get it before the next Elder Scrolls games.
Um,
Zing!
3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I would say 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
I think that's reasonable.
I think that's 2, and that gives time for Rockstar to actually like announce another game.
I don't think we'll see it within the next 3
You
years.
don't-
I think we might get
3 or
an
4
announcement.
years.
I think we'll probably get an announcement, but I don't think we'll get it within the next 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move on. That was 20 minutes.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna
When's
be
GTA
the
6?
end for
It'll
GTA?
come out in 5 months, actually.
Yeah, no, Quinn's got the inside
Red Dead
scoop.
Redemption 2, GTA 6.
Yeah.
Back to back.
All
That's
right.
how they roll.
We're moving on to the next topic. Quinn, this is your topic. What are we talking about?
Okay, we're talking about a very important issue that I'd like for us to
the most
discuss.
important, super serious time.
So it's a game that you like that for whatever reason was not in a favorable light to the masses. It's just like a guilty pleasure, I guess you could say. It's just like you're like, yeah, that was pretty nice. I enjoyed that, and everybody's like, wow, dude, you enjoyed that? Get out of here. Just leave. Get out of the store. Get out of the house. Get off this earth. Get out of this galaxy. Go.
Oh, wow. Very aggressive,
and
whoever
then,
that is.
just keeps going and going.
Yeah, exactly. And then vice versa, a game that everybody likes. You could walk up to your grandma and be like, "Hey, what's this?" And then she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I love that game." And then
You've had way too much sugar tonight.
and then you'd be like, "I don't like that game, Grandma."
That's a shirt.
I don't like that game, Grandma.
I don't like that
I
game,
don't
Grandma.
like that game, Grandma.
Okay,
That's
so
What do we? How do we get to do this? How do we
we'll start with we'll go with the game that you like
And then we'll
that
just go
nobody
around.
else likes
Yeah.
first. We'll do
Yeah.
the round and then we'll swap it.
Okay.
So who wants to lead?
I guess I'll go because David's usually the one that starts it.
Okay. Yeah.
I was trying to
I'm
look up.
saying quiet on purpose. I'll just jump in.
Let me just. So the first one that I have 2 of them, and I'm not gonna look at the second one. I looked up just to see what their Metacritic was, but a lot of people. I'm considering this game. The first one I'm gonna do it very quickly, of based on how everyone felt, as in not the review. So like this game is BioShock Infinite. I've talked about it a lot. I really love the game. I really love Elizabeth. I really like Booker, and I like playing as Booker. But critically, it got really good ratings.
Mm-hmm.
So it got like 94s. Metacritic gave it a 94. IGN I think got a 9.4. But a lot of people look at it as like, I guess, the lack of a better term, the bastard child of the BioShock series. Because you're like, here's BioShock, the horror game.
Mm-hmm.
BioShock 2, sort of the horror game.
It's a little different.
Yeah, and then BioShock Infinite, which is not really a horror game. It's just
Not
more of
really.
kind of inventory. You kind of have to. It's not horror.
No.
But it's definitely like a story, but you have to keep track of your inventory, kind of like survival horrors.
It is
But
a little-
Elizabeth
a
will help you out
little,
on that,
yeah.
so it's like whatever. But for some reason, like BioShock Infinite, I feel a lot of people don't agree with me. Is
it's
my
very-
favorite BioShock
It's a very
game.
decisive one.
Yeah, is my favorite BioShock game, and it got me into the series. I did have BioShock 1 and 2. 2 I thought was trash. 1, great. But Infinite was definitely that setting off point of like, okay, like we can get a good story. And a lot of people hate the ending, and you can jump in here after I say this part.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the ending.
Isn't there multiple though?
No, there's just one
There's just
ending.
one? Okay.
There's just one ending, and a lot of people think that there was multiple based
Yeah,
on
I
when
can-
you,
I
how
can
you beat it.
understand
Yeah, because
why
the first
people
one
think
and the
that.
second one have multiple
Oh,
endings.
okay. So for whatever reason,
This one's just A to B.
Yeah.
It's just how you get there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I actually was like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the ending. It's fine. It makes sense. Like all the puzzle pieces connect, and then you see, what is happening. I don't know. Can we spoil a game that came out in 2014?
Wait, I want to play this game.
Is Bioshock Infinite?
Do
Okay.
you really? Are you serious? Do you
Yeah, I do
It's a
wanna
great
play
game.
this.
Okay. So no
All right.
spoilers.
We
But
won't
like
spoil it for Quinn then.
the ending, a lot of people just go, the game's great until the ending,
Mm-hmm.
and
I live with one of them.
yeah, and it's like I don't see why it was bad. I don't. Like I never. Every time I get to that point, I'm like, because I own it on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. I didn't buy the collection because I feel like
'Cause
I've
you
bought in the
already
game a
have
couple
it,
times. Yeah, and especially when you have it on PC, you're kind of like, well, I already have it looking good, so because the game's modern. So, but yeah, I think it was like it added this flavor of its own to the Bioshock series, where anyone can jump into it and you go, okay, there's a story. I can follow this. Like, it's not, no one's going to talk to you for the whole rest of the game. You're going to wander these hallways for however long, and no one's going to respond to you except when they're yelling at you to try and kill you. And you're like, all right, but in this game, Elizabeth's with you through like 95% of the game. And you meet her like 5 or 10 minutes in, or maybe a little longer. 10 to 20 minutes into the game, you'll meet her. And she just becomes this psychic. And I like the way that they took it. And there was this sense of like, what is happening? Now, I don't want to talk about DLC because we're just basing it off of base games. So, but I feel like the game.
You haven't played the DLC, right?
No, not yet.
I will just say the DLC ties the 3 games together in terms of it adding kind of more to Infinite itself. Not so much. It's just ties the whole series as a whole.
But even to that, like the regular ending explains the first and second games a little bit. And then you're like, what is this? Even if all you got to do is just know the general sense of what the first 2 games are, and you get to the end of the Bioshock Infinite, and that's what I do like about it. It's not called Bioshock 3.
No, yeah.
And a lot of people take it as that, and it's like, no, this is Bioshock Infinite. It's like saying Halo 3 ODST is a part of the Halo
it's
series.
Halo 4.
Like,
it's Halo 4.
yeah, it's in the universe, but it's its own thing.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's my. And then the second game is Quantum Break. I would have said Alan Wake, but Alan Wake is critically considered a really good game. Quantum Break, I feel like, got even glossed over even more. Like Remedy is one of those companies that I'm like, they make really, really good games. They always just get the short end of the stick every single time. Because other than Max Payne, like with Alan Wake and Quantum Break, they were like, it's so interesting of a concept with Quantum Break because it's a TV show as well. So you play. They broke them up into chapters. So like you get a chapter 1. At the end of chapter 1, you watch all of what you've done. Like there'll be times, like for example, there's this one time where you could walk up to a radio and just switch it on, and it's right next to a walkie-talkie, and then it just blasts through their walkie-talkie system, and so their whole entire radio system. But it's not even like near you. You have to go and just. I accidentally found it. It was off in like a corner, so I was like, turned it on, and then all of a sudden in the game you're hearing this dialogue of where like, where the heck is that stupid music coming from? Like, turn that off. And they're like, I don't know, sir. It's in like quadrant 7 or whatever. And they're like, and then it gets to the end, and then it gets to the show part, and then all of a sudden you hear through their radio system a guy walks up, and it's like a main bad guy, and he's like, because he hears the music.
Yeah.
And then he walks out. And it's like, that's cool because it was an effect you had on the game that wouldn't have happened in the show. And you changed the outcome of the show. Because if you went back and didn't do that, he doesn't react that way. Yeah. So I thought it was really, really, really good. I have the game on digital, so I got it for PC as well.
Like the show, how do you do it? Do you watch the show first and then?
No,
play the game?
the
you
show's
play
like-
it.
it's
You
like
play a
almost-
bit, and
It's
then
like a cutscene.
yeah, it's an actual live action show. Live actors, actually some
Like, you know
pretty
how
Is
famous
it part
actors.
of the game, or do you have
Yes,
to watch it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
like
you
I
watch
know-
it, and they explain more of like, there are cutscenes, like traditional ones, and then there's the actual show part, and then they will have pretty much your outcome of what you've done. So things that you've heard of, things that you've seen, people you've talked to will interact in that show, and then there will be a part where it stops, like in Alan Wake, where you played Alan Wake, right? Mm-hmm. So where they just roll credits. Mm-hmm. It's like it's they did episodic before it was like an actual thing. It was just chapters. They would just end it. And so then the second episode would start like a traditional thing, and it's just a cutscene. I think it's just a cutscene, or it goes into a show, but it has nothing to do with what you've done. It's just setting it up, and then you play for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then it goes back into a thing. I thought it was really good. I don't know what the scores are for it, but that's one of my favorite games too. Yeah, I think it got a good score, but I really liked it. I wish more people played it, but that's what happened.
Yep.
All right, is it my turn? I guess.
Sure, you just go down the line. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the game that I liked that people didn't really like, I think, like critically and also just like in terms of people, it didn't receive very good scores. Like I think it received like 7s and lower. Was Conception 2 like Children of the Stars or something like that? I don't know, like the subtitle.
They took a dartboard and just put adjectives on it and just
So Conception 2, the reason I never heard of the series before was because the first game was on PSP and I didn't have a PSP. So I never got a chance to play it. But the reason I played it was, well, one, it was a free eShop demo and I was like, okay, cool. And I played it. I was like, "This is neat." But I was really, it was right after I got done beating Persona 4, and I was like,
for PlayStation 2, the
PS2, 4. Yeah. And I was like, man, this game's so good. Why are there not as many games like this game where there's like a social mechanic on top of like all these other things like that? I was like, because that gives so much more depth to the characters and stuff like that. And I was like, is there any game out there like that I can do on the mobile that isn't Persona 4 Golden that I have to get a Vita for, which I eventually did.
Yeah.
And then I played the demo or whatever, Conception 2, which is like a Persona game. It's Persona styled, except it's okay, let me be straightforward. I already know why the game isn't like a critical success like Persona 4 is and stuff like that, or the Persona 3 Forward is.
Yeah.
Is because this game is straight, way more anime, way more fan servicey than Persona 4.
This sounds like it's up my alley.
So this is like for people that want to like play a game. There's like, I would say Persona 4 is like if you want to have like a friend high school simulator with good RPG gameplay and good music. Persona 4 is just a good game. Like I don't think it's it's offensive to people that haven't played like anime games before. Like I think if a guy wasn't interested in anime, he could still enjoy Persona 5, Persona 4.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Whereas this game is like
you have to be
you
a
would have to
fan.
be more like someone that has watched like more than just Naruto or something to be like, yeah, I dig this, you know. Which there was like tons of cliches. So first off, it's way more cliched in that there is no.
Are there things that
there's
move?
Yeah, I think there might be jiggle physics. There might
jiggle
be some,
physics.
Yeah.
I think there might be, which is one. Well, that isn't the detail that caught my eye. It was actually the graphics were really good on 3DS. It was like because they have like.
Wait, this is on 3DS?
Yeah, this is on 3DS.
Okay. Oh.
It was
Nintendo. This is like Nintendo.
It was rated M. Yeah, it was
rated M on the 3DS.
Yeah.
That's not something.
It happens every
well,
once
it
in a
was
blue
also on
moon.
Vita
But
too.
yes.
It was on Vita. They just split it. I think 3DS version probably sold more just because the Vita didn't sell good at all in the first place. And so the 3D models were really top notch. I was like, wow, this is really pristine looking. And so
Did it
first
run
of all,
60 frames a second?
No, the 3DS doesn't even run 60 frames per
Yeah,
second.
what is it?
It's
Monster
all
Hunter?
30. It's all 30.
Really?
3DS can't run 60
I
frames.
thought okay.
When I played the game, there's first of all, unlike Persona, where it's like a relationship simulator more or less. This game is straight like waifu. Like this is your girl. You gotta choose them and you rank them up.
Can you marry all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Because here's the thing: this is the setup for the story. Unlike Persona, is in Persona you're like. Typically, you're the wild card user, so that's what makes you special, and it's up to you. The motivation for you to go out and make these friends is that it helps you along your journey, and it's all about strengthening your bonds with people and blah blah blah.
Thou
friendship.
I art thou.
Exactly. This game lays it down as there's like magical this game is so cheesy, but I actually enjoyed it. God, I'm not even getting to the super fan service. Is the there's like a magical school for like gifted youngsters. It's like freaking anime Harry Potter. Let's put it like that. It's anime Harry Potter, and like you go to this school, and there's guys at this school, but you don't waste your time with the guys. You're not.
Of course not.
And
let's be honest.
yeah, and so you go there, and like. There's these creatures that you have to defend against, but only like these magical people can do it because they're magical. Otherwise, normal people would get killed. So, there's the school, and you're recruited there because they see magical talent in you or whatever. And
Did you get a letter from an owl?
Maybe it would like a cyborg owl, but
whoa, there's cyborg.
Well, like, probably it's a futuristic game. You get like laser swords and stuff like that.
What? This is a Star Wars Harry Potter anime.
Star Wars Harry Potter anime.
Just keeps getting longer and longer.
And so you go there, and like one of the girls. So you start out with like the girl next door archetype, and
You
she's
start out
she's with you
as if she's like your choice. You get 3 to choose from, and you move on.
Because you're on like a boat. You're on like the Titanic to Harry Potter land.
Okay, that's not a good reference. You didn't make it.
Well, I think it gets attacked or something, but maybe I don't know.
Okay.
So you go there, and you start out with her, and then you start out with your hot-blooded, impulsive friend that's dumb and wants to be the chosen one, but isn't the chosen one. And then he semi-resents you for it.
Semi-resents you.
And then of course later on in the game you meet the guy that's like badass and he doesn't need friends and he has like the dark powers and he's like,
is he the one?
But
that
he's
broke
actually-
the scar and doesn't, like,
probably
really
I
talk?
don't remember.
But he's actually a really nice guy when you get to know him.
Actually, like there's a cutscene where you like beat his ass, and then you guys like lay down and feel next to each other, and you guys are like,
Oh my!
"I'm glad we had that fight."
I'm glad we had that. I'm glad we resolved our
Bonding
differences.
experience.
And so you can date your teacher in that game.
Wow. All of them.
This is on the 3DS.
This is one of them is so. This is before Persona 5. Persona 5, you can. Date
If
your
it's on
teacher,
Vita,
too.
we can play it on the channel.
Oh yeah. You can. It's on Vita.
Is it a chip? Can
Yeah,
I buy it on the chip?
It's a little chip one, sort of. Thing.
Okay, we gotta find it.
Well, it's a pretty common game. It's not worth much.
I'm sure it's not.
And so you get on there, and they measure the
What do
girl's
they measure?
power and her breast size, of course. Because
Those correlate with each other.
Yeah,
so they're like, we gotta evaluate you, and your hot blood friend's like, dude, I bet she's like an E cup, right? And then you're like, you have your little dialogue options like, yeah, bro, I think she's like a G or something. Or you have like you have the option where you're like, you can give them the ... or you can go like, shut up, Ted.
Your friend's name's Ted?
No, it's a Japanese name, but I don't remember it.
Oh my gosh.
And so you get evaluated, and then like.
Do they measure your breast size?
No, they measure something else. And they're like,
An eye for an eye.
well, they measure your friend, and they're like, yeah, you have slightly more magical potential than a normal person. He's like, that's bull. Reevaluate me. And then she's like, no, get out. And then they evaluate you, and you like break the machine, and they're like, oh my god. So you're like
He's the chosen one.
And the chosen one in this game is called God's Gift because so what happens in the game is the mechanics, instead of having personas, you do have a persona-like thing, is you have the Star Children. That's where the title comes into. But in order to make the Star
That's
Children...
where half the title comes into.
Well, you'll get to the conception part too. To conceive a child, and this is why you don't mess with the dudes, is the reason why you're so important is it's like a sperm count or something, essentially. Is that the higher potency or magic or whatever, the higher chance you have of conceiving a child with like another magical girl or whatever. And since you have such a high magical power, you can choose any girl pretty much and be able to get with them and have a successful result, whereas guys with lower potential, they had to like.
It's not a matter of how high your potential is how you use it. Okay.
It's how you use your magic.
Exactly. They say it doesn't matter.
And so, also like with the magic potential, like there's like these dungeon layers where there's a whole bunch of like that's where the dark creatures are coming from. And
of
the
course,
higher your magical
yes.
potential, the more you're able to go in there and survive. Because if you have a lower magical potential, then you have a lower resistance. So after a while fighting in there, you'll get fatigued or whatever easier.
Yeah, sometimes you have that problem if you're spouting off too much high potential.
What you
might
do
get a little fatigued.
is
Might need a glass of water, maybe a gallon or so.
What you do is you have to go to church to conceive
Oh,
your
of
child.
course. Oh my gosh.
You have to go to the holy priest person, and then you gotta choose the girl, and then you get your own little nifty cutscene with them intertwining. And then from a little egg, those little Russian eggs, right? Where those like things pop out, you get your child.
Here you go.
And then of course you have like your
So you could have like 18 kids in that game?
yeah, well, because they're your party members. Like one of the comments I saw that was funny. It was like,
you're hatched. Go
someone
fight
was
for
like,
me now.
Yeah. Go fend for yourself and your family.
Someone was like, "This is the best game ever. I can have all these girls to be with, and then I can send my children out to fight demons."
As every father's dream
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Come on, you were just born, but let's go.
It's time to get out of here.
I never beat the game because I ended up needing the money to get a different game, and I regret it.
It was on the list.
But I actually regret it because I enjoyed the game. It was just really. It was so fan servicey, but I really had a fun time like playing it. It was just like it made me laugh. Like it was to the point where it wasn't like it didn't make me cringe. It was just like that's funny. I think I don't remember it taking itself like super seriously to the point like if I had taken it seriously, like it was like no, you are like this is important to the. Like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure at some point they said you were the key to like man's survival or something, but it was just like it was so overly cliche to the point that it was just like
You just can't take it serious.
I just couldn't take it serious, so it was just really fun. I just had fun. I was like, oh, this is neat, this is cool. Well, I like this chick. I'm gonna hang out with her. Like literally, I found one chick that I liked so much. I was like, well, I'm not gonna hang out with the rest of the girls. And so that was my game.
What was it called again?
It was like Conception 2, Children of the Stars or something like that.
Wow.
Okay, so the
Conception
reason... Oh, no, I remember. Conception 1 didn't even come out in the U.S. because one of your romance options in that game is your cousin, which is okay in Japan. But obviously in America, we have different stances on that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure they could have fixed that with, a few dialogue adjustments.
I remember this game. I remember there's like a collector's edition in this, isn't there?
There might be, I don't know.
Yeah, there is. Look how thick that box is.
Okay, so there's my girl. So
The
my
blue
favorite
one?
thing about her is so she's the little girl. Not like little girl. Well, I mean she might be a little.
Oh my gosh.
But one of the things in her story thing is she wants to be a matured woman.
What? Are there naughty bits?
Holy
Are there naughty bits in this
I
game?
never got to that part. I never beat the game, and I also didn't do all the stories for all of them, so I don't know how naughty it gets for the other characters.
I don't know how deep I want to go into here.
It's not too long of a game. I think it was like
No, it's not. Oh. What?
yeah, that's the when you conceive your child.
Oh my gosh.
It's lewd.
Yeah, that's probably about as far.
Oh,
you probably
there she is.
You probably don't see anything, but you probably get like.
No, you get some hand holding, some.
Oh. Oh my.
And then that's what you get.
Where have we gone?
You need to show up pictures when we do this. You know, like what we're looking at.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'll be able to find any of that stuff. You could look it up. Conception 2 is what I searched, and I just clicked on. If you really want to know it, Conception 2 girls, and I binged it. That was it. So you can find the images.
Good results from Quinn. I know the good stuff.
Send it to
I can
him.
hook
You
you
can
up.
tweet at him at. I don't even know what you're tweeting.
All right. It's
Yeah, take us back.
I don't know how.
I don't know how you
I
can
don't
do it
know.
either. So
I mean, the game that I was thinking of is nowhere it can't compete with what we just
Conception
went through.
2, Star Child
play
of the
random games.
Birthright
I
or
just
whatever
play-
it was.
I just play like stupid games that I find.
That's another topic, man.
What stupid games did you play?
All right. Well, the game that I chose, I believe, was critically received fairly well. I think it got like 8s and above.
So that's a great.
It was I even think it was one of the best games to come out for the console that it came out on. The only thing is, so the game I chose is titled Operation Winback. Have either of you heard of it?
Can you marry a waifu in that game?
No.
Okay. No,
Wow,
I have
wow.
not heard. Yeah, you wouldn't know either.
No, that's usually when I bring up this game. That's usually the response I get. It came out in 19.
That exact one.
Operation what? No, well, nobody knows is what I mean.
Everyone. Okay, can you marry a waifu in that game?
Everyone's just like, okay, but
I mean,
Is the waifu in the game?
I mean, it is a Japanese game. It's made by Koi.
Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Koi.
You're familiar with
Yeah.
this.
I'm familiar.
I believe it was them. It's like Koei.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Koei. They also are animation or whatever. Koei
yeah,
animation.
I
or
think
is
it's
it
the
Toei?
same.
I don't know.
I think it's the same people that also did like the Dynasty Warriors games.
Yeah,
I believe.
they are. And Pac-Man.
But
What a jump.
yeah, Operation Winback. It came out like really late on the Nintendo 64's lifespan. It came out like late
Oh, it's
1999.
N64. Okay.
It also was a launch title for the PlayStation 2 in 2001. But it's one of the best third-person shooters, fourth generation that I've ever played, and it also has a really long campaign. The weapon mechanics in it. It is the game that is people who have played it, including myself. I like to credit it as the game that brought in cover-based shooters. Everybody likes to go
Like
you.
Gears of War.
See,
Yeah,
everybody
Gears
likes
of
to
War
nope,
was the cover-based
this
shooter.
game
It did
did
first.
it first.
Way earlier.
Did you look
right?
this up?
It came out in 1999.
But that's not anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
this game was inspired by Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it has a very kind of Metal Gear Solid-y feel.
The first Metal Gear.
Yes, because first Metal Gear Solid came out in 90.
Yeah, it was
98.
like. Wasn't that on the SNES?
No,
No,
it's
it was
no,
on
the
no.
one.
Metal Gear Solid was on the PlayStation. You're thinking of Metal Gear.
Yeah,
Metal
Metal
Gear,
Gear
that's
came out
right.
on
Yeah, okay.
NES and
yeah,
stuff like
came out
that.
on NES.
Which
Um,
Kojima well, I don't know if he disowns them, but,
But-
nobody looks at those games.
But no, if you so before we started, I even just threw a quick little Wikipedia at this just for old time's sake, and it said that Metal Gear Solid inspired this game, and then this game's mechanics inspired Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and Gears of War.
That's funny. It was inspired by Metal Gear Solid, and then
Mhm.
it inspired.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider inspired
Raider,
Uncharted, and
Uncharted,
Uncharted now
yep.
inspires Tomb Raider.
But no, like
Yeah.
if you've got a 64, you still have a working
Yeah.
64. I really recommend that you.
Do we
if
have
you-
to go find that? How much?
I
What is it called?
probably still have a copy of it, but it's probably at my parents' in storage. But if you can find a copy of it, Ryan, I really suggest you try it out.
What's it called?
Operation Winback.
Winback. You play as this
Sounds like
guy
a-
who has the most like cliche American name ever of like Jean-Luc something. Win WINBACK.
Winback.
Win.
Oh.
It's one word. Win.
What did I spell?
Windback.
Windback.
It's
is it too.
win.
Win.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Winback. There it is for PlayStation 2. There it is, $31
Or 11.
from
PS2.
Australia. NATO, get us this game and then send it to us.
No, next time I'm at my parents, I'll see if I can dig it out. Because it's one of my favorite games to come out on the 64. But everybody I know that has played it didn't really. They just wrote it off as a Metal Gear Solid clone. And so they never really gave it the time of day.
Did a lot of people play Metal Gear Solid? When did you know?
There's a
Okay.
PlayStation 2. Oh no, there's sequels to this game. Just
Is
saying.
there?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a 2.
They weren't released in the U.S.
There's one. They're here. 2.
Project Poseidon.
Yeah.
I don't believe they were released in the U.S. or else I would have had
This
it
is
on
like
PlayStation
almost
2.
an $80 game.
It's it's
This-
a European game.
Yeah.
But no, like the mechanics in it were solid. The gameplay was fun. The multiplayer was even fun.
They
The
were
multiplayer.
Metal Gear.
So the multiplayer, in my opinion, was one of the more underrated because this game had bosses in it, like Metal Gear Solid style bosses, where like they were just ridiculous and overpowered. But in the multiplayer, you can bring in those bosses and you can play as them. So we would have these rounds where we would set up where we had a one person playing as the boss, and we'd have 3 of us trying to take them out.
So you essentially made your own raid.
Yeah, we basically would make like our own little like a raid mode, and you could also do teams of 2 or 4. All versus all. Free
Where's
for
the
all.
esports for that? Is there an esport for?
I don't know. We played
Project
that
Winback?
game like crazy though, but there was like 30 or something characters you can unlock and play in the multiplayer.
Jeez, wow.
And the story was really good. Has a nice twist to it. Like I said, and the gameplay was just really good, really solid. And that whenever I'm like, what?
Nothing.
My what's
No,
doing?
nothing.
What'd he do?
I didn't say anything.
All right.
Just continue.
But whenever I talk to people about it, I just hear negative things about it. I mainly hear, oh yeah, no, it's just a wannabe Metal Gear Solid. That just wasn't quite Metal Gear Solid, but it's so good. It was one of the first games that I played because aiming was like a big part of it, and I would hide, get behind cover, and I had it perfect where I could get the instant one-shot headshots because you would use, you'd hold your 64 controller and you push the right bumper to aim and the Z button to Z or A. I don't remember.
Z was on the back.
Yeah, but I don't remember if Z or A was to shoot.
Oh, okay.
But you would just like aim, flip down, I play inverted, so I would flick it down to aim up at the guy's head, just pop, and just all these instant one shots. And but the boss fights were really something that just I'd never seen on 64 before. But again, whenever I bring it up to people, they're just like, "Oh, it's so unoriginal," and it's just not.
That's probably why it didn't get a lot of
And
attention.
And I never played the PlayStation 2 port, and I think the PlayStation 2 port of it got even more flack because I don't think it was ported well.
Oh, wow.
But on the 64, that game is a gem. It really is, in my opinion. It's so good, especially if you're looking for a really good third-person shooter. Operation Winback, especially its multiplayer. That was my third person multiplayer. If we weren't playing Perfect Dark, we were playing Operation Winback because the maps on there were really nice. They were kind of small and tight, but there was a lot of cover, and it was always just kind of fun to just try and find each other. It's like, where are you hiding?
I hate to cut you off, but
Yeah.
our time is running short.
That's okay. No. We got.
So we
more
have
time.
to go with the second half of your conversation here.
No, we can go a little longer. Okay.
Yeah. No, I know that, but I'm
Okay.
just saying, like, to get this topic in
yeah.
order. Yeah.
The next one, of course, is game that you hate that everybody seems to like. We'll start with Ryan again.
Okay, so first off, let's kick it off real strong. Hate Half-Life. Half-Life, piece of trash game. This is the reason why Half-Life.
You're gonna get us.
And
all the
I was
dislikes.
very close of putting Left 4 Dead on this list too.
Yeah.
And the reason why Left 4 Dead, because all it is the same thing just on a different map, and it's just get from point A to point B. There's not really a story.
Did
Some
you
people
play-
like to say there is. There's not really a story, but
Well, the story that the story there is kind of like Dark Souls, where you kind of have to look for.
yeah,
it
you have
get
to
it.
you have to like try and figure it out yourself. I understand what it is, but Left 4 Dead didn't make it on this list only because the mechanics are great.
What
Like
about
I
Left 4
will
Dead 2?
give
Did you ever
Left 4
play
Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. I'm talking about the whole franchise. Half-Life, I don't understand it. I don't get why it's this big deal of where we need a third
So
one of it.
Valve, you don't like Valve?
No,
can I-
that's not true either.
Can
Because
I ask you one question though?
Yeah,
about
go
Half-Life
ahead.
Games? When did you play them? Did you play them when they were brand
Half-Life,
new?
I
or did you-
watched it back in 1996. I saw my neighbor
Okay.
play that game, and then I watched
Yeah.
her play it through the. I always call it the Crab Aliens.
Yeah, no.
I always call them those,
Yeah.
and that was the first game, and then I didn't know really what was going on. So then, I was like, okay, what was that game that she always played? As I'm trying to think as a young adult at this point. And so I'm like, all right, not now, obviously,
Right.
but like as in like a teenager.
Yeah.
And so I was looking around for it, and then all of a sudden I see on the Xbox 360 there's this thing called the Orange Box.
Orange box.
You can get Portal, fantastic game. Portal's fantastic. Made right here in DigiPen, like right here in Seattle. And then Team Fortress 2 was
That's
on
where
there.
Valve is based. Valve is in Seattle.
Yeah, that's why they
Headquarters.
hired those guys. And then Team Fortress 2 was on there, and then Half-Life 2, the whole thing was on there. Played Half-Life. I know there's this whole big like cliffhanger and blah 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 and all this mess if you make it that far. I don't know. It just seemed
I made it that far.
I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
It just felt very slow. Not that much. I like a lot of dialogue, and I know there is dialogue in that game. I do, but I don't like protagonists that don't talk. And you can't say Chief doesn't. He talks, so there's a qualification there. Gordon never talks. Don't want to get that. So
At least Link
he's a
makes
mute.
noises.
Yeah, he's a mute. This whole game, this whole franchise.
Yeah.
The other game, and the only reason why I made it on this list is because it's changed a lot. I do respect it of what it is. So this one is more of I don't like it because I just can't get the mechanics down. And so I just feel like now it's so competitive. There's a few games that qualify in this, so I'll list them off very quickly.
Oh, you're so far behind the curve.
Yeah,
that you're
because I got it at launch. It's the same with League of Legends.
Yeah.
League of Legends and Smite were those games that I got on the train early, especially Smite.
Yeah,
I
'cause
got
we
on that
used to
in
kill it.
pre-beta.
Yeah, you and me were on there.
No, but not just that.
Oh,
on
you were on
PC,
PC. You were on
I was
PC.
also in pre-beta.
Yeah.
And so, but even with League of Legends, I had skins for that, not in beta or alpha because those skins are really expensive. But I was in like early, probably like third update for it, and so and then it just got way too intense.
Way too
Everyone
meta.
was too into it.
Yeah.
So the one that made it on this list was Rocket League. I just can't. I don't like it for what it is. Even though that I've recommended us doing stuff for Rocket League, again, I respect all of it. Fantastic time to see like a video game like Rocket League sponsor WWE pay-per-views. Like it was the worst pay-per-view title ever because it's called Great Balls of Fire, but it was sponsored by Rocket League. Like it's on the chair and it's like the main sponsor. And I'm like, that's awesome. Cool, great, fantastic. I just can't play it. Like it's changed so much.
Yeah.
People are way too good at the game, and they're like I don't know. It's kind of toxic in some ways. Some of them are. I'm not gonna say the whole community is, but yeah.
You're more likely to hear the toxic player than the non-toxic.
Yeah, exactly.
player.
And it's not even it's. I've never hear it on the other end. It's always your teammates that are so bad that they just tear you apart. And it's part of the reason why I don't play League of Legends. Is because they don't care to teach you. They just you're gonna die. Have fun. Yeah, like you're gonna die if you screw it up for me. You bring my rank down. It's your fault. It's like okay, well, you should know that this is a video game and it's online, so you're probably gonna get ranked in somewhere.
Yeah.
But since then, I'm able to like handle MOBAs now. But Rocket League is in its own. It's a league in its own, and that's just. But again, Rocket League lands into the I just can't play it anymore. So I don't like it. I don't like playing it. Half-Life just don't really like the franchise. And same with Left 4 Dead.
fine.
Again, but the reason why Left 4 Dead didn't make it because I like the mechanics of it. Like it feels good. I just don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I just go where everyone tells me to go.
Right.
Anyway, that's my thing.
Yep.
All right. The next game for me is I had a hard time, I guess, trying to like go way. Oh, I'm hitting
No,
the
he
cord?
is.
Oh,
But it's fine. I didn't mean to disrupt you.
go
I was
way
kinda-
back and think of a game that was like I didn't like that other people liked. So I just thought of one of recent memory was I guess it got decent scores or whatever. Is Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia as it's
Is
said
that the
in
one
the
that
game.
just came
Yeah,
out?
it just came out.
Yeah. Rebecca has that one. I don't think she's finished it yet, though.
Yeah, I beat that game. I was so unmotivated to beat it because I dreaded playing it. It took me like normally like a game I really like, I'll usually beat it within the week or something like that. I didn't have that case for Persona 5, not because it was long, but I had plans that weekend because I went to a convention, so that took up my whole weekend. Otherwise, I would have beaten that in a week. And so this game has really good music, really good art. I like the mechanics a lot. But the story is so awful that I just do not like it. It is not good.
It's worse than Pokemon was? The Pokemon, what was it? Sun and Moon you didn't like? What was the one you didn't like?
Oh, X and Y.
The X and Y, that's right.
Yeah, but Pokemon never really has that much of a
Yeah,
story.
that's true.
And the reason I didn't like X and Y was because it was a step back in story. Because Black and White focused on story a lot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then X and Y was just like, here's your friends, here's the new region. And then on top of that, they didn't expand X and Y at all. They just went on to Sun and Moon.
Hey, forget about these ones. Zygarde's coming back.
They're
Don't worry
like,
about it.
X and Y was the beta for this.
Yeah.
X and Y never. It was just we felt bad for you guys not getting a Pokemon game. So
Here you
there
go.
you go.
Taste
Cool,
it. Have fun with it.
New Pokemon. There you go.
Yeah.
This game is the thing is that this is a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, which came out in like early 90s,
Like 92 or 93.
Yeah.
So it's
Fire Emblem's that old to get remakes now?
Well, it's
Fire
had
Emblem's been around
remakes.
for
Man,
decades. Yeah.
Like Shadow Dragon, which is on the DS, is a remake of the very first game. It's just Fire Emblem hasn't gained popularity until Awakening because
At least over
that was
here.
the Smash stuff, right? That's
Well-
where all those characters started. Cloud or not?
well,
Cloud.
yeah,
What's his
that's
face? Roy
they
or
got
whatever. I don't know what his name is.
characters in Smash. Well, mostly due to Awakening's success. That's what has kept this series going is Awakening, because Awakening was like a one last hurrah for Fire Emblem, so they tried putting in everything that they've.
So it's
they're done-
Pokemon Silver and Gold for them.
Yeah,
They're
essentially.
like, let's do everything now.
Because they didn't have like much money and nobody really bought their games essentially, and then everybody played the game because who knew putting in so much effort would yield you.
Oh, we have to try now.
And that's not to say discredit all the older games. It's just there's a very obvious reason why Awakening did so well is because they wanted to make it really good and it caught everybody's attention because of it.
Yeah.
And so this game, I don't mind that its mechanics are different than like the newer Fire Emblem games and stuff like
you
that.
can tell it's older. The mechanics feel a little dated.
They're like, it's really cool. It's interesting way to play. And I like the dungeon exploration. That's my favorite part of the game. Is this first time for Fire Emblem? Well, not the first time because Gaiden did it, but first time in a Fire Emblem game that I've played, and the only Fire Emblem game in the series that has dungeons, and you can go in there and you can explore them and you get items, and then you can just grind in there and blah blah blah. You can level up units that were weaker. You have a navigatable map, which is something that I missed in Fates because Awakening had a navigatable map, and I like that because that's one of the things that held me off from playing Fire Emblem for so long is feeling forced in turn-based RPGs, or not turn-based, strategy RPGs, that you always, after you beat a chapter, it progresses to the next chapter, next chapter. So there's a stress of, I gotta maintain this unit, I gotta make sure this item has this durability, blah blah blah. Whereas I like because there's more replayability, I guess, or more, just playing the game more when you have a navigatable map and you can do extra things. Because when it's just push to the next point, then after you beat the game, that's it.
You got nothing else to work with.
No, when you say navigatable map, do you mean like an open world?
It's just like it has a map and you can just click on different points and go to
So
them.
it's more okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I would consider it to be like more of an open world feel.
Wait, so like StarCraft kind of thing where you click on the map and then everyone moves that way, or where you?
No. So
like
what?
the map
like-
pops up. I want to go to this city, or I can go
So
to this
like,
city, or I can go to this city.
like
So
Super
you don't
Mario,
actually
where you have to
explore-
like click on a
So,
here's the
yeah,
map and you
imagine
click,
Super-
but in a watered down version of that.
Imagine
That's
Super
what
Mario
it
Bros.
looked like.
3's map.
Yeah.
But instead, actually, that's a really good point. It's like Super Mario Bros. 3, except when you click on a point, instead of loading a level, it loads a battlefield. Essentially, that's what it loads
Okay.
instead of a platforming level. That's a very good. Yeah, that's exactly what it is like. Whereas Fates in the older game, Fates had a sort of like click on location sort of thing rather than a navigatable map, which I didn't really care for. It was like, all right, I didn't mind it. And then the predecessors were just next chapter, beat the map. Next chapter, beat the map. And that's what I kind of never really wanted to dip my feet into until Awakening, because then I was like, oh, the navigatable map. That's something I really like, especially because it's just cool.
Yeah.
And so this game, it has a lot of things I like. Navigatable map, the stuff is all cool. And they added support conversations, which weren't in the original Gaiden. So I couldn't imagine playing the original Gaiden and having no character depth to anyone except for the protagonist, because I would just be like, first of all, their sprites aren't even detailed since it's a really old game. So I'd just be like, oh, what unit is this one? Oh, so this one's gray. Okay, I'll move him. Which one? This guy looks like gray. Well, what do I make? Oh,
he's a slightly darker shade.
This is Cliff. Okay, so this guy, that's their names, is Gray and Cliff and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
But on top of that, they're also starting classes, a lot of them are villagers, so they can reclass into anything. So they could all be the same unit. And the only way to differ their sprites, literally, back then would be like, oh, this guy is this guy, this guy's this guy. And then
don't have them always on top of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, hey, no.
Which one's which? Which one is the one I actually leveled up? So in this game, they, of course, with the new graphics, they made it a lot more apparent. They did a whole bunch of redesigns, so it doesn't look awful. But the big thing that, and some, like, they added new characters to the story, which is, like, cool that they did that. So there's, like, the story is slightly different. But the overall story, in my opinion, is very dated. I mean, it's Shakespearean dated, and not even good at that. It's a tale of two star-crossed lovers. First of all,
now,
one thing I have to say is, so I already said that, like, I didn't mind what I said, Conception.
Yeah, that was
because that game is, I hate the Chosen One archetypes. I think that's so lame. That's just so stupid. One of the only things I think did a really good job of doing the Chosen One things, because it did it in such a different way, was Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think that was a really good instance of Chosen One. Because not only...
You didn't like Star Wars? The hell was Chosen One?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
No, it was not a very good one.
Anakin is all right as the Chosen One. It's just...
very whiny for the Chosen One.
Well, the way they did it, though, is different because they did it from end to beginning. Because, and that was kind of different. But once you know the whole story of Darth Vader, it's like, oh, that's cool. He finally finds redemption.
Technically did bring balance to the Force.
He
did bring balance to the Force.
And he finds it's a redemption
It took him
story.
a long time, but he made it there.
It's a redemption story, which is kind of cool in the end.
Yeah.
But for this...
But everyone likes this game, though?
Oh, well, not everyone.
But I mean, like, it's critically...
it got, like, 80s to 70s, but the fan base loves this game. And one thing I have to say about the Fire Emblem fan base is it's pretty divided, because there's a lot of people that came in during Awakening that are used to having... like all the support conversations and doing all
more
these things.
Dialogue, in-depth kind of things.
And then having the ability to grind or freedom of choice. And then the older fans who have stuck with it through, that have like war medals and stuff, like that I like, oh, I beat this game. They're like, I guess, elitist.
Oh, you
could
beat
say,
that game, great.
Or blah blah blah.
Never getting that time back.
Which and they don't like the newer card games, Emblem games, as much. So for this one, I think the reason it like really struck with the fan base is because it's new enough to the point where someone that's used to Awakening Fates can play it and enjoy it, and it's, I guess, hardcore enough and like retro enough to attract the older demographic of Fire Emblem veterans. But the biggest reason I didn't like it is it's a Chosen One story. Not to say like Fire Emblem doesn't do that. Fire Emblem always does it. It's always the person with the mark or the brand that can defeat the dragon, and they're always the lords of the game are literally.
There's some mark that has to be
exactly.
has to defeat some dragon.
They're called lords for a reason. It's because they're princes or kings of that land.
Yeah.
So those are the chosen people, of course. But this game I didn't like as much because. Well, I don't want to explain the whole story, but I'll explain the gist of it. It's about these two characters that both have marks on their hand because they were chosen by the respective like dragon gods or whatever, or they're divine beings, not really or gods, and they end up having to be separated, but it's because their bond that they forged when they were little kids that they promised they would always meet each other in the end, and that nothing. This is
already getting a little too sappy.
And the reason why I hate this so much is because the whole star-crossed lovers thing is first of all, I hate Romeo and Juliet. I think that is one of his worst plays that he's written. I just can't stand that kind of story where there's a fate that will bring people together no matter what, and they will love each other till they die. That's so sappy. That's so corny. That is like so idealistic that it's just sickening.
Yeah.
In this game, they like get separated and they don't ever meet. Like it's literally so they're freaking like in Romeo and Juliet times essentially. They're in like kingdom times where they got like send carrier pigeons to each other. But the thing is, when they get separated, they don't know their locations, so they are unable to communicate with each other. But for the longest time, they always think of each other every day, every night of how I'm always going to get back to this person. I'm always going to see them again. And the first thing that happens, this is all within, well, the second chapter essentially, which isn't too long. I don't care if I spoil this game. This game's crappy. Okay, not crappy. The story is so stupid. You have to agree that the story... So one of the characters... Well, you can't see her on camera, but I was really hyped for Celica because I knew Alm was just gonna be generic pro tag. Oh yeah, she's the girl with the orange hair.
She's got the.
But there's too
I
much
knew
stuff.
Alm would just be generic boy. And I was hyped for Celica because on the back of the game it says Alm follows the path of the sword, which I was like, that's what every lord does. He always kills whatever he has to until he reaches the end of the game. And then Celica leads the path of the heart, choosing not to fight and choosing to do these things. And I was like, that can be a little bit more interesting. But the thing is, when they say that, they do it so, like, I'm all for people, like, following, not doing violence and all that. But they make her such a freaking dip that she falls for everything. Like, why does having to follow the heart have to immediately mean that you're going to be, like, a gullible person? And you just cave into
Nonetheless,
these
she's supposed to be this main character, right?
Yeah,
That
they're
you're
both the
supposed
same.
to-
Both, like, they're deuteragonist.
Oh, when you get to choose, like,
But
can
you play
choose
both
to
of
be...
them at the same time.
Oh, play both at the same time. Okay, all right.
They
You
both
just go
have
back
different
and
sides of the
forth.
map.
Yeah.
But they first meet each other after so many years in reunions, and Celica's like, first of all, she goes off the path of her journey. She's supposed to meet at this temple in order to talk to the goddess or whatever. But she's like, she hears news that like, a green-haired boy is over in the other town, and she's like, could that be Alm? I gotta go see him. And then her friends are like, Celica, where are you going? Why are we not going on the path? And she's like, oh, there's urgent business over here. And then she goes to meet Alm, and Alm's like, hey, Celica, what's up? And she's like, it's been
I
so
feel like
long.
I'm playing the game now.
Yeah. This is voice acting sessions with me.
Voice acting sessions with Quinn.
And then she's like, I haven't seen you so long. What's going on? And he's like, I've been killing them. I've been beating the enemies. I'm leading the resistance now against the tyranny in the world. And then she's like, how could you do that? Hurting people. You're stupid. I never want to see you. And this is within like 20 seconds of them meeting each other. I never want to see you again.
This is kind of how I felt when Ashley shows up in Mass Effect 2. Because she like just goes, you're part of the bad guys now. Well, no, I'm not. No, you are. Let me explain.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Goodbye. We're done.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
I was waiting for you to get
myself?
I was waiting for you to get to that part too when you told me you went with that. I was like, oh, you're gonna get hurt.
Oh my gosh.
And so
I found Jack. I don't care.
and yeah, that's the
The gist of it. You hate the story
the gist
of
of
it.
it. I
Yeah.
would explain more of like a rant, but the game hasn't been out long enough to do that. But it's just, Celica. I had so much. That was my let down character. That was my let down. Alm couldn't have let me down. I was like,
If you can reach him, Ryan, you can grab him.
yeah, grab them.
It's not like a peg hook. Yeah. Just, ooh.
Hey.
There's the amiibos.
Yeah.
It's the Migos.
Yeah, because it's two back.
So this is them right here.
Yeah. So that's Celica and that's Ohm.
Yeah,
But it
Celica.
says like two different. Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah, Alm and Celica.
Yeah.
I was rooting for her, but she ended up being so Alm. He's actually a decent like guy. He gets the job done. He doesn't fall for any buffoonery.
None shall be
Yeah.
buffooned.
Because like no. So like what happens with Celica is like
We do have to wrap it up a little bit.
yeah,
but-
she just the bad guys like go. Well, if you do this, I will not kill your friends. And then she was like,
Okay, let me ponder.
okay. And then Alm is like, they never tempt Alm, but like if they did, they're like, we won't kill your friends, and he's like, shut up. Kills them.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow. That was like we've said in the past. Quinn doesn't say much.
Yeah,
but when he gets
does,
going,
yeah, he's got a story to tell.
yeah. I think you went on for like 20 minutes. There's
Ranting
25.
about it?
I think you went
That's
almost
okay.
25 minutes about that. But that's fine.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's
okay.
fine.
all right.
All right.
I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been weighing
It's
you
been
down.
brewing. It feels like it's been brewing
Yeah.
for a while.
And that wasn't even all of it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do like Quinn rants, like
There
as
you
his
go.
own show.
Review the game.
Yeah, Quinn review. Yeah.
All right, David, end us out here.
All
you
right.
got like, I hate to cut you short, but you got like
It's
10
fine.
minutes
I've
to go.
talked about how much if people who've seen our shows already probably know which one I'm going to pick.
Final Fantasy 7.
No.
Okay.
No. But you're close.
Okay, Final Fantasy 10.
It's 8.
It's 10.
10.
I'm
Yeah.
going with this one right here. I'll
don't think-
grab him for
Oh my
fun.
god, it's him. The Laugh
Oh my
Master.
god.
This guy is one of the main reasons.
Why do you have a figure of him?
Rebecca likes the game.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
I do not.
That's one of the things that you build your relationship on.
Yeah, compromise. Yeah, he was one of.
You look at him, he's like, you know how much disappointment
And-
you have when
well,
you look at something and you're like, I just.
And this isn't including the laughing scene. That one.
Like, yeah.
Like, it's not including that. Like, I can give that a pass. I can give that a pass to just being dumb. The developers being dumb. The voice translators being dumb.
Was it Jake from?
It was Johnny Test.
Johnny Test. That's
you
right.
told me that.
Johnny
I
Test.
was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. I just thought
I
this
immediately
dude was
knew
just an idiot. I could not stand this guy as a protagonist. I couldn't stand his personality. He was just super boring.
I thought his name was Tintin for the first thing.
I don't like his outfit. I just couldn't stand him. And
Him
about the
only
romance?
is the
No,
reason why you hate this game.
No.
What about
Okay.
the romance focus in that game?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. You didn't even play. Did you play 10 too?
No, I chose
You didn't
not to
play
play
that. You
10
didn't
too.
play. What is it? What do they call that?
Oh god, I hate that.
Gosh, what do
game.
they call that?
It's like the dress-up simulator.
What's the one TV the show with Bosley or whatever his name is? They call him Hello Girls.
Oh, Charlie's Angels.
That's
Oh
right.
my
It's like
God,
Charlie's
yeah,
Angels.
yeah, yeah.
Final Fantasy
Um,
Charlie's Angels.
No, he's my least favorite protagonist. Just because I found him to be so annoying.
I don't even know if he's on camera, but nevertheless,
it's fine. He's down
He
there.
doesn't need to be on camera.
you know.
You know who he is.
I didn't like the story. I thought it was very cliche, very forced, shoved down your throat, and predictable as fuck.
We have to censor
That's
that
the
now.
first-
That is the
No.
first. That's the first F drop. We made it 8
And,
episodes. He's getting
and-
too comfortable now.
And I saw the ending coming a mile away. Saw it. I knew what was gonna happen.
What happened?
The combat was super repetitive and boring.
I will tell you, it's the only Final Fantasy game I've ever played, and it forced me off of it.
Yeah,
I just don't want to play any more Final Fantasy games because of that game.
it's like
Actually, I played first
because Final Fantasy kind of always has sort of like a rock paper scissors mentality where there's always a certain type of ability or enemy or character will be strong
Like
to
Pokemon.
something or will be
Final
weak to
Fantasy
something.
copied Pokemon.
Oh,
Got it.
yeah. And so like it's like, oh, we're fighting an elemental. Okay, well I'll get Lulu in here, and and she'll just one shot it. You can go through the whole game literally one shotting people because your party you can swap out people mid battle. You're
Yes.
not like set.
Mhm.
And so like, oh, there's an elemental. Pop in Lulu. She one shots it. Oh, that dude's got armor. All right, I'm gonna pop in Auron. He'll one shot it. Oh, that's a mechanic. I'm gonna pop in Riku and Steel, and she'll one shot it. And it's just so easy that, especially, I feel bad for the people that just didn't really, who've never played a Final Fantasy game and just didn't really understand how Final Fantasy works. Because when you get into the later stages of the game, you start fighting bosses that are like proper Final Fantasy bosses. To like, if you don't have the strategy down and you didn't like level your characters properly and you're not playing them the way they should be played, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to beat the game. And it's just the combat was just awful.
Yeah.
It was just awful. It's just so boring. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep playing this one.
Somehow you made it to the end.
I did finish it. Yeah, I did finish
But
it.
somewhere in
Did you dread
between,
every
you kind of
moment?
just was like this.
It was one of those games that's just like, I wanted to play it. It was a Final Fantasy game. I wanted to finish it, but I didn't want to play it. But I did it anyways. And then it has, in my opinion, the worst like love story ever. Cause like, there's no chemistry between the characters. They don't talk that often. I was under the impression, like when I was playing it, I felt like they didn't really have a relationship. And then next thing you know, they're making out in this pool, and I get that cutscene, and I literally, when it started the first time, I literally went like that. I was like,
Wait, what?
I was like, what? What's going? Like, there's no way a reasonable people would be at this point. Would be doing this with how
such
the
laughter like this.
I don't know. It's just everybody's like, oh, but that's like the best scene in the game. I'm like, no, it's animated well, but it doesn't fit with the narrative.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
I was told that was the best way to jump into it, was to play 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was the guy at GameStop, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out to guy at GameStop.
I
Thanks a lot.
was like, should I buy Lightning or should I buy 10?
See,
and then, because I think Lightning had just come out.
13.
Yeah. The 13. Is there 2? Yeah, 13.2 had
Lightning
just come
Returns.
out.
13.2.
Yeah.
I see. I think 13.2 would have been a much better starting point.
Yeah.
Um.
Wait. No, it was when the HD remake of 10 came out, and I walked in, and I was like, I've always been tempted to play Lightning because I like the way she looks. And then, like, on the cover, the art style looks
That
great.
would be 13.
Yeah,
13.
yeah, I know that
regular
one. I know
13,
that one. But like, I was just like, that was why I wanted to get it. It looks good. Is it good? And he goes, well, 10's probably the better one. I like it. This is my favorite Final Fantasy. And this is where everyone else likes to say that it's their favorite. And I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah, it's either this or 7.
Yeah,
I'm like,
see,
I don't want
I
it on PC though. So I just
No, see, you were going on the right boat too with me because I don't hold 7 in as high of a regard as everybody else. I still think it's better than 10. I still think it's like top 5, but I still don't think it's as good as people say. But the only thing that I liked from this game, oh, by the way, I forgot
was
to add,
the sport that they made up.
oh,
I don't know what they call it.
Blitzball.
Blitzball, that's right.
No, Blitzball was garbage.
Pod racing.
Yep.
Um,
This is pod racing.
this
is Blitzball.
Oh yeah, speaking of Blitzball, Walker drove me nuts. Every time he'd open his mouth, in my head I'd be like,
Waka Waka.
Walker.
Dude, didn't he have a famous voice actor?
Yeah, I think he did.
I met him like in 10-2 for like 20 seconds.
Oh,
and I
every
couldn't
time,
stand him.
I can't. So like the anime archetype.
Yeah, it's John DiMaggio.
Yeah. Yeah. So
the guy who plays like a lot of characters. He plays Bender.
Yeah.
He plays Jake from Adventure Time. Yeah.
But
He's a great voice actor.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's great voice actors
the lines
in this
and
game.
the character's person. I can't do it because he's just every time I hear him, just be like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, I don't discredit their voice acting in this game. It's great. Characters are awful.
But oh, I just wanted to punch him in the face. He's so like, excuse me, characters.
Oh, is it coming up because you've mentioned his name?
Yeah. No, it's because I'm talking about 10.
Oh.
Characters, because the character trope in Japanese media, I guess, that's kind of like your stereotypical upbeat, always positive, no matter what's going on. Characters drive me nuts. Waka is one of them.
Waka.
I think I would in 13. I think I'd put Vanille under the same category. She drove me nuts too. Vanille and Hope I didn't like, and like they drove me nuts in 13. But yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't, because normally in a Final Fantasy game, I can at least attach myself to a character. Be like, yeah, I like this character. 13, I liked Fang. I don't have Fang.
No, but
Oh yeah, in 12, I liked Fran. In
which has made an appearance here.
yeah, I like Fran. In like 8, I didn't really have anybody, but again, that's in like my bottom 2 with this going on. In 7, I liked Yuffie. Yuffie was a fun character if you founder. um, but yeah, it's just yeah, I just didn't like the cast. The only characters I had any sort of
You like the cast, you hate the characters. The
No.
writing is
no,
what
I
got
didn't
you.
really care for any of the characters. The only characters I
No,
really
but that's what I'm saying. Like the
Oh, in
cast
10?
of the voice actors.
Oh
You're fine
no,
with,
the voice
but-
actors I had no issues
Yeah.
with or anything like that. Especially given the time period that when they came out with voice acting and all that. Like the voice acting, other than that one scene, was fine
Yeah.
for when it came out. But I didn't like the characters. Didn't like the
Keep
story.
drifting away from your
Didn't
mic.
I'm sorry. Didn't like the combat system. Oh, and for all those people who complained about 13, 10 is also linear through 3/4 of the game. Everybody when 13 came out, oh, it's so linear. It doesn't open up till 3/4 of the game. So does this one. And
That
the
is
area,
true. That is very
and the
true.
area is smaller than in 13 when it does open up. The only thing I liked about this game was the song Return to Zendikar. Zendikar? Is it Zendikar?
Is that a magic card?
Xanarkin.
Xanarkin, that's it. Return to Xanarkin. And that was like the title screen song. That's the only thing in that whole game I liked is that one song. That's it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, comment section is open to you.
Yeah.
So
If
Warzone.
you want to fight us in there, feel free to do so. We will never respond to them, but there you go. You can go ahead.
Oh, I'll respond. I'll
Oh,
come
okay.
back.
I'm sure you will. Keep it PG. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a game that you feel that is utter trash, that everyone else loves, make sure you definitely comment it in the comment section below. If you have also down there, though, if you're going to do that, make sure you leave the game that you like that everyone else hates. There's a tip for tat for that. And then also, if you want to disagree with us, feel free to do so.
You should try
David
this
will fight you in there.
You should try this
I
one.
love that game.
What's this one?
Final Fantasy IX. This is Zidane. He's actually one of my favorite protagonists. Really good.
It's a good game.
It's a good one.
We're moving on to our third and final topic. David, it is your turn.
Yeah, so I'll just jump right into it because we're kind of short on time right now.
That was an hour, by the
So,
way.
yeah.
We did-
That's okay.
But it was a
That's okay.
double topic anyway, so we're fine.
That's all right. So yeah, we've just there was people have been rumored that, or it's been rumored that the PlayStation 5 is like in development or in some sort of way.
Limbo. Yeah.
And it just kind of brings the question: are we ready for a new generation of consoles? Or is that something that are we just? Do you think we're gonna keep getting these little upgrades, like literally almost every year that they're doing now,
Mhm.
or do you think we're gonna in a few years? Because I think if we're gonna get an actual like new solid system, it'll probably be within I would probably say like 4 years. But
Because right now, we were talking about this before, was because you mentioned the Switch. What generation is the Switch in?
yeah.
And technically, the Switch is in its own generation right now. Technically. And that and a lot of people were like, oh, is Microsoft making the Xbox, is Xbox One X like going to be the next gen? And no, it's not.
No.
It's just an upgraded version. So, because the Wii U is technically in the Xbox
PS4,
One and
yeah.
PS4.
PS4,
yeah.
in terms
Because
of
Wii
release
was in
date
360
and,
and that.
yeah.
So the generations are all messed up right now thanks to Nintendo, but they were,
They were
as you were,
forced into it,
as
yeah.
you were
That's what-
saying,
but-
yes.
Yeah, but that's what Nintendo kind of
In order
kinda
you
does.
can compete.
They have to do it, yeah. But that, because I was also thinking about this topic, not this, but you're gonna get what I mean by this. When I was at work and I was like trying to think of topics to talk about, was like I kind of lost it now. But in the long sense of like, do we feel that Microsoft and PlayStation need to do this? Oh, it was like who is in the lead right now? Who do we feel like is winning the console wars? Was gonna be my topic, but it actually kind of jumps into what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Of
Are we ready?
Yeah,
for
are we
the
ready
next-
for this?
For the next
And it's-
generation.
Yeah, and it's PlayStation right now has the weakest hardware. Well, technically right now they're fine, but when the
Right.
Xbox One comes when X comes out, that is going to be the better console
Right.
by far, by a long run.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that was kind of what I was been thinking about, but
But the thing is though is like the Xbox One X comes out in few months.
Yeah.
Like 4 months from now, I believe.
Comes out in November.
November. It's August. It's almost August, as of the date we're recording this. So, we've got a little bit more. We got about 4 or 5 months till it comes out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. Do you think Sony is gonna release a stronger version of the Pro? Or do you think that they're going to just go with the 5?
I think if they are going to release another, I think it would really be stupid if they released another version of the PS4 past the Pro. I think
Because you also have to
because
take
after you say Pro,
Yeah.
you're done. You
Yeah.
can't go Pro-er.
Yeah, I think at that point,
The Pro-iest.
at that point, it's like a waste of resource and money when
Yeah.
they could just develop a new console.
Yeah.
Because I think in this particular cycle, especially at work, where I usually am the one that's at work that's selling these consoles. A lot of people, a lot of non-gamers, okay, and a lot of non-gamers,
Normal people.
normal people,
Yeah. The
normal
average
people,
everyday mon pa.
Humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That have lives.
don't realize that these consoles have been out for 4 years. I
Yeah.
have people coming in and still asking where our Wii game section is.
Yeah.
And I say
There's even a few people that ask about what's so big about the Switch thing.
yeah.
Like that's another thing. And then another person I think called it. Do you have like a Nintendo Wii Switch?
I've heard
Yeah.
Wii U 2.
Wii U 2.
Yeah, but the thing is like I kind of
Haven't
in
heard
my
that
own
one.
way. I have. I've heard all. Whenever I hear people asking for the Wii in particular, I kind of be a little bit of a jerk in my response, and I'm kind of like, you're talking about the one that was released about 15 years ago, right? And then they're like, has it been that long? And I'm like,
It's been 2007 was 2006.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. It's like
2005.
I tell them it's been over a decade.
Yeah.
And they don't know, and I think that's the big thing is we're probably gonna have these consoles for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. We're probably gonna have them for a while, and I think it's
2006.
just because people don't, the masses, non-gamers don't realize that they've been out since 2013.
Yeah, and
It's been 4 years.
Yeah, because like on the inside, like people that watch the podcast, the people that are looking for this stuff,
Yeah.
are like in our environment. It
Yeah.
seems like video games are more information is thrown out to you than any other time.
Mhm.
Like we're able to just talk about the possibility of a PS5, the rumor of GTA 6. Like
yeah.
before, it was like you waited for the magazine to come every month and then you read that and you were calling it good.
Yeah.
But now it's, there's so much information thrown at you. But then you have to take a step back. And this is another thing that, whenever I have to, even when I talk with my mom about like her Amazon stuff, because she loves Amazon, or where I talk with even like Jameson sometimes, where when we're going to PAX every year and all this information and here's all these games and all this stuff. And some people don't know, like they don't know anything that's happening. They don't know anything that what's happening. It's kind of like a person that always watches the news, and then you question why this person doesn't know. Well, didn't you know such and such did this? And it's like, well, no, because I don't watch the news. Well, how can you not watch the news? It's because I take my time to do other things.
Yeah.
So it's like it's you have to every once in a while take a step back and go, oh, I'm in the minority of this stuff. Like I know way more than an average person would actually know. But going off of like the consoles thing, there has been rumor that, or there's been thought processes of, will eventually, let's say Microsoft, because they're in the PC game, if they just go, here's the Xbox, this is it. Every 6 to 7 months, we'll release bits of hardware and stuff like that, which was rumored that the Xbox One X was gonna get. was that you were just gonna like buy things to upgrade it, but then that goes into PCs.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
now,
say-
what's the difference now?
Yeah, I
Where
was
are
gonna
you?
say, if
These blurred lines.
Once they go into where you're upgrading your
Yeah.
console, in my opinion, you have just bought a PC.
Yeah, and then the other thing
That's
is
just
with the upgrading thing
Yeah.
was it would just become a phone cycle. So here's the it's like MacBooks.
Right.
Here's the 2012
Like an
MacBook.
iPad.
Here's the 2013
Like the
MacBook.
iPads,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So you just get they
iPads,
have
iPhones.
this and it just keeps getting updated. That's why a lot of people thought the Xbox was going to be the One X was.
See,
it
if
was
they
just
did that,
here's
I
the
think-
Xbox and we're just going to keep
Because
updating every so
I
often.
think that would have been good for them to have gone that way, just for the reason that people are very intimidated to build a PC.
Yeah.
Let's just think about it. Because people think, oh, building a PC, that seems so, like, I'm not very tech savvy. And in all honesty, assembling a PC isn't that difficult.
No,
It's just
it's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money, but it's more of just getting over the fact that you can do it.
Yeah.
But
And it teaches you how to do it. Like
Right.
it tells you how to do something.
Yeah,
You built
and-
your
and-
PC, right? Did you
No,
build your
I
PC?
didn't. I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And,
I built my PC. But
And so, and I think that's the big thing. Whereas if you had basically an Xbox, right?
yeah.
And you, every couple years or so, you could just slide out a piece of
Yeah.
it that has its internal bits and then slide in a new
Well, I
one.
mean-
I think people would be more inclined to do that.
Yeah, I mean like if you look at Alienware's what do they call it? The Alienware I think it's just the Area 51 or something like that. And then Omen, so HP made like the Omen thing. It's like a triangle. So Alienware's thing is a triangle. This is not a sponsored thing, not just because I have this. It's just because I know the booth. Is a triangle thing. But the Omen has also the same shape. And you like pull out drawers to like, you just go, oh, I want to upgrade my graphics card. And then you just pop it out and then you slide it back in.
Yeah,
And
I really do think that I do think consoles will get to that point. But I think I feel like that would be much more user friendly to.
You'd think it would look more like how Alienware and Origin Omen
I
have
think
gone.
it would be more appealing to casual people to get into gaming on a console versus a PC, because I feel like that ease of just popping a piece in and putting it out, it gets them over, just getting over the mindset of, oh, I don't have to build the computer, I just put this piece in, is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like, I deal with old people who still use flip phones because they're scared. They're too scared to try a smartphone.
Yeah. Or they just
You
don't.
know?
They're like, that's just too much stuff. I don't want
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's the exact mentality that a lot of people have when it comes to building a PC, is that, oh, it just seems like too much work. I don't know how to do it.
I am shocked
you know.
that Microsoft didn't go that way because of them like blurring those lines between the Xbox One and the PC. Because now when you, for example, Quantum Break, I pre-ordered it on Xbox,
But you got a PC
and I
copy.
got the PC copy.
Right.
And then same with Gears of War. Like I own Gears of War, and then now they have Play Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So when I save on my Gears of War game, it goes to my PC, so I can just pick it up wherever I'm at on my PC, and I'm just playing it on the
Yeah,
go.
especially now since they've been releasing these different consoles in every like year or two, you know, because they, you know, for instance, the Xbox One, Xbox One X, and then about 2 years after that, we're getting the Xbox One
X,
I'm sorry, Xbox One S, and the Xbox One S.
That was the S was last year, and then
Yeah.
we're getting X this year. Yeah,
I believe it's been almost 2 years now since the S came out.
I thought it came out last year.
I think we're at like a year and a half. I don't recall off the top of my head, but I think since we're getting into this multi-generation per console, that makes sense.
2013. No, that's the console. That's one.
I believe I feel like that's just the next step.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you got your PlayStation 5. Well, here's your regular PlayStation 5. Well, you want to get the PlayStation 5 Pro. You just pop out this bit.
But I mean, a lot of people
Pro.
don't like that because then you get this like Frankenstein console. That now, okay, well, so and so has a better console than I do. Well, it's like that's how PC players are.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you mean this guy I'm playing with online? Like, I'm locked at 60 frames, but the guy I'm playing against is at is at like 120.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
You know what?
paid for
Okay. Answer this question.
Yeah.
Do you feel higher frame rate is a decision factor when you're playing like Call of Duties or multiplayer games?
it's a nice thing to have, frame rates. Yeah.
Yeah. As a PC player, do you feel like when some guy doesn't have a rig that can run, he can only run 30 frames per second 1080p, but your rig runs like 120 frames per second? Do you feel like you have an advantage over him because your frame rate is higher?
Humans couldn't see past a certain frame rate, like a difference.
I think it's it becomes slow motion at some point. But apparently, a lot of people like to tell me, well, games don't count that way. Then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you don't, like when you look at League of Legends. League of Legends is such a like base game that you can eventually just run like 300 frames per second. You wouldn't tell,
Right.
like, because you're like, it looks the same as.
Well, have you seen
60.
the pros play Overwatch at 200 frames?
I don't
It's-
see any
Oh,
difference.
it's so smooth.
Really?
Yeah, I notice a difference from like when I play, even though I don't play at a pro level, but like when I'm playing a character like Zenyatta, I will notice the frames. I notice it because there's a lot going on.
But do you feel like that's an advantage of them?
Yeah, I do. I feel like the frames being a lot smoother. Yeah, I feel it gives you more clarity, more visual clarity. It gives you more frame. It makes a tracer's zip
Yeah.
more clear, more easy to focus.
I guess.
I
don't know.
I will
definitely-
say, the most times I notice frames is when I play Zenyatta on Overwatch, because he's always got those red and blue boxes bouncing everywhere that I really notice when those pop in and go away, and so I notice how long like I can visually see them. Versus when I see like on YouTube like a pro playing him, it's very, I notice a big difference.
Okay.
So
How many frames is it on Xbox?
It's
they're locked
30.
at 30.
Oh, it's 30?
9,
Okay.
920, 30 frames a second.
Because I would say
Yeah.
I noticed the biggest difference from 30 to 60 for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't.
You notice it, but I'm just saying, like, as a
I think
as
it
a
gives you an
technical
adva- I think it
standpoint
gives
of
you an
like
advantage. Yeah.
1v1, do you
Yeah.
feel like the guy that okay?
I,
all right.
I,
Well,
I think
yeah,
so,
I would
yes.
argue that because in a way, like a 30-60 difference. If it's 60 plus, like someone's at 100
Yeah,
and it's
after
60, I would
60,
say
I
no.
would
It's
not really,
like
no.
it doesn't matter.
That's more
but if
personal
it's
preference.
60 versus something below that, well, not like 40-60 or something, but like say if I was fighting a guy that had 20 frames per second or something, and I had a smooth 60.
Okay, but at that point, he's probably lagging.
Well, yeah,
like his
because
rig's
he
probably
has
not his
way less-
trash.
Yeah, he has way less frames.
Yeah.
To get all the information across.
Yeah.
So I would say even though 30 is a playable and it's like the standard for most things, there would be like a slight difference.
Okay. Yeah, I would go with
I wouldn't say it's a make or break sort of thing.
I
if
also-
if we feel like there should be a console change for these kids. I mean, a lot of people
here's the
when
thing.
because before we go into that, like we were thinking of that the 360 and the PS3 would go on forever because they lasted so long, and we had. I mean, for a console like that it felt like a long time, and then
What was it,
now
8 years.
I mean. Yeah,
8 or 9 years?
there's still a couple PS3 games that are still being made.
Well,
I mean, there's still Wii games, but whatever. But like
I don't count like the football. like the
Call of Duty
football
still
and-
are made for it, but Call of Duty's are last. You don't count those.
No.
But anyway,
they
what
didn't
I'm
even
saying
make
is,
Infinite Warfare for them. Infinite Warfare did not come out.
oh, I don't count that one anyway. So anyway, we
I think Black
so-
Ops 3 was the last
that
one.
like I was was
And it didn't have all of the games.
It didn't have
on it.
campaign. It had multiplayer.
And the
But
maps-
the yeah, it lasted a long time. So if the consoles that we have now are only lasting 4 years or
No,
5 years,
I don't think we'll see another proper generation of Xbox or PlayStation for probably another 2 years. At least
I would say
two-
that
2
too.
or 3.
And at that point, if I think Microsoft will at that point probably have teamed up with some sort of VR company. I thought they were going to announce at E3, but I was totally wrong on that. But the One X can run VR. Like that is a capable machine that can. It's way more capable than the PS4 is. So it's and it has the USB. That is another thing. They keep the same amount of USBs. That kind of makes me angry because 3 is not enough. I'm just saying. But anyway, I don't know. It's just interesting to see that the next console generation, I feel if VR's still around, that will be the next step. Is like we're all going VR now.
I don't think so.
But we're still gonna do switching off. But there will be a like Oculus version of VR with Microsoft brand on it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna be like their driving force to try and sell consoles.
I feel like that at that point
I'm sure it'll be an accessory that you'll be able to do.
I mean, we didn't think it was gonna last this long, so.
But I do think though. But going back to the frames though that you were talking about before, the next generation will more than likely be at least 60.
I think. Well, I mean, they are
locked at 60.
They'll probably, but I feel like at that point, you're probably competing with PCs, so you're probably going to be competing with them.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then that's where the lines get blurred even more. So, what about you, Quinn? When do you feel like the PlayStation 5, Xbox? I don't even know at this point whatever they call that, but
we'll call it Xbox.
The X.
That's it. Great. I'm glad you're in this meeting for that.
Call it the Xbox.
The Xbox.
So you got Xbox. You got
it's like
Xbox
the MacBook or the iPad.
And then you got the Xbox One, and then you get the Xbox. They just love that name. They just want to make it.
I mean, it's their brand.
Box.
That's what they call it. Because with PlayStation, they screwed themselves on that one. Well, as soon as they call it the 360, and then PlayStation comes out, and they're like PlayStation 3, and you're like, well, it was not anticipating you numbering it again.
Yeah.
Because now PlayStation can just keep calling it numbers.
It's just straight, simple. I know.
Well, because with PlayStation, they can call it PlayStation is their brand, the number. With Xbox, it's Xbox is the brand, so they have to call it something Xbox. But they've already called it. Xbox. Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X.
Well,
Where do you?
Yeah, when they named themselves the Xbox 360, they screwed themselves because they could just name the first console the Xbox or whatever.
They did. They called it Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. They could have just called that.
No,
and
it's
then
called
they
Xbox.
The next console, not the 360. They could have renamed it something else.
Xbox 2.
No, nothing to have to do with Xbox. Because then they wouldn't have screwed themselves over.
Like how Sega does like Dreamcast and Genesis.
Nintendo did call it the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then the Super Nintendo, and then they just called it the N64, then the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The DS.
So you feel like Microsoft should just step away.
Up to a point.
Yeah.
They just Game Boy Advance and DS forward is.
See, Microsoft though can't do that.
Yeah, they can't do it
because they've already
yeah.
even then because with Nintendo's the company, Microsoft's the company. So Microsoft called it the Xbox. So then you're really saying because when you go to PAX, it's the Xbox booth, the PlayStation booth, the Nintendo booth. And that's so you're like, okay, well, Nintendo's the company.
They're just the box boys.
They're the box boys.
Because it's not.
That's the next console, box boys.
That's a name for it.
It's the box boy.
Title.
No, it's the box boy.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the portable. That's the portable.
Exactly. We've all been wanting it. There it is.
You guys
Xbox
always wanted a Microsoft portable game console thing, so you get the box boy. There you go.
There you go.
You can play games 15 frames per second.
By then we'll be already like attached. So like the VR system, we're just standing there like this. We have the Daredevil mask, like just playing this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna conclude it. We ran this one as far as we can.
Yep.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this has been. You're not gonna do it with me? I was signaling. I was waiting. Bitcade, and this is Box. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Bitcade, and it has been a fantastic journey. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It is the end of the month, so make sure you definitely check out the rest of the episodes. If you're watching the full episode, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you definitely hit the subscribe button so it builds the PT Nation and it builds the community. Plus, go check us out on all of our social medias. We are on Twitter at Primal_Target, as well as twitch.tv/the same thing, Primal_Target. Not /the same thing. Don't do that. It's Primal_Target. I really messed that one up. But if you go over there, you can watch us live and do fun stuff over there. You can also see how Ashton he says very inappropriate things. And then you can also go and Nate NATO Potato. And then you can also go and like us on Facebook as well as Instagram. Just Primal Target. That's it. Thank you, David. Thank you, Quinn. This has been real. This has been
Box Boys.